Daniel 10:15. Uvedabero imi kadevarim haele natati fanai arza vane'elamti. So here we begin with an infinitive. This is a PL infinitive construct. Verbal root here is davar. Since we have a little bit of shorter verse today, we can look at some of these pieces. Notice we have the patach vowel here in the R1 and the dagesh. So very indicative of the infinitive construct in the PL. In fact, that's the defining marks for us. We also know that davar, as the word to speak, very often occurs as a PL. So this makes a lot of sense. Now, this is a temporal clause with the bait preposition. We would see something like at the time of, the speaking of him, the third masculine singular pronominal suffix, and the him here serves as the subject. So this roundabout way of saying it becomes and when he spoke. Now, we've covered those several times in previous videos, but there it is again for you. And when he spoke with me, there's the im preposition with a 1cs suffix, according to these words. Now, I probably shouldn't have put that line there because watch this. Notice the definite article here and the definite article here. So that tells us that this whole thing goes together as according to these words. I gave, or we might say here, I put. This is another one of those instances of natan. Here's a verbal root. Go ahead and write that out. This is one of those instances of natan saying like, I gave over, or I put my face. Notice the 1cs pronominal suffix there. It is the plural form of it with the patach, but it's because panim is a plural word. I gave over my face to the ground. Notice here where the accent falls, right there. And that's important because we now have an unaccented kametz hey, which is this accusative hey, or we might call it a directional hey. That's probably one that's more common. And what we get this then is to the ground with that directional hey. So I gave my face to the ground, and here's a 1cs verb, and I was mute. Now this is a nifal. Notice the noon preformative. Verbal root is alam, I was mute, and we get the 1cs nifal perfect. I was, with that passive, I was mute.